And servicemen in France have published a second open letter to President Emmanuel Macron. It accuses him of making concessions to Islamism and warns that France's survival is at stake. Now, the letter was published in a French conservative magazine, the same one that published a similar letter from servicemen last month. Now, the previous one was signed by a handful of officers and 20 retired generals. This one was supposedly drafted by the younger generation of the French military, but it is not clear how many people signed it or what their ranks are. Now, this letter also gives the public an option of endorsing it. This is a short excerpt from the letter, and I'm quoting at this point: "We are not talking about extending your mandates or conquering others. We are talking about the survival of our country, the survival of your country. They have offered up their skin to destroy the Islamism that you have made concessions to on our soil." Now, the authors identify themselves as the generation of fire. They claim to have been deployed in the security operation that followed the wave of attacks in 2015. Like the first letter, this one too talks about a brewing civil war. And I'm quoting yet again: "If a civil war breaks out, the military will maintain order on its own soil." Civil war is brewing in France, and you know it perfectly well. Now, the letter was addressed directly to President Macron and his cabinet. It is likely to trigger a similar reaction as the first one. The Prime Minister had called it an initiative against Republican principles, while the Army Chief vowed to punish the signatories. A similar response is expected this time around. Such interventions are extremely rare in France. They also come at a sensitive period in French politics. Now, the presidential elections are scheduled for 2022. Macron's challenger is expected to be a far-right leader, Marine Le Pen, and the political atmosphere appears extremely polarized ahead of the elections. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.